Hey there, Enlightened Coaches. It's me, Dax, back with another of my 30 dates with Dax, and we are at date number 10. So this is 30 questions, essentially, 30 struggles, 30 challenges that you as tribe members are facing around building your coaching business, attracting new clients, the actual mechanics of coaching, or even something that's a little bit more personal, maybe to do with your own self-confidence and your own self-belief, or, kind of thoughts around money or self-sabotage or anything. Anything is fair game here. It's my genuine intention to help you as much as I can by giving you the best possible answers from my own experience and my own study experience and observation of other people. I don't claim them all to be absolutely right, but maybe, just maybe, somewhere in my mad ramblings of an answer, you may find something that resonates with you and kind of, flips a switch and kind of gets you thinking in a slightly different way. And if nothing more than that, then I'll consider these 30 videos time very, very well spent. Now, today's question is from Luiza Stefan. She says, how do you find the energy and inspiration to keep posting and blogging? How do I know that I'm better? What about the expert image, as there are more and more coaches and almost everybody is talking about the same ideas and needs? I see myself as a good coach, but I have no idea how I'm really different from others at the same level as me, except being myself. So much coaching content over the internet and books, and how do I convince somebody to choose me? Right, really good question, and I think it's one that's going to be resonant with so many people in the tribe, right? This idea of, I guess there's a couple of questions threaded into that. They all lead back to the same thing. Really, when you boil it down, kind of when you kind of read through all the kind of the subtleties of that question, really, in a way, there's an aspect of, what should I do and why should I bother, right? Kind of, I don't know if you'd agree with that, Luiza, but kind of, I don't mean why should I bother as in this isn't worth it. But, when somebody's asking, how do I find the energy and the inspiration to keep posting and blogging, for example, what they're saying is, I'm not really 100% certain of the value. Because anything you saw and you felt the extreme value in doing, you wouldn't need motivation, inspiration, or kind of energy and all that other stuff to do it, right? You'd be called to do it. Like, for example, at the moment, I am being pulled very, very strongly to create these 30 dates with Dax. Like, I can't think of anything better to do right now, right? It's kind of really, really inspiring to me. It's like, wow, this is awesome. I'm not requiring some external force to come along and energize me to do it. It's what I really, really want to do right now. So where do I get the energy and the inspiration to keep posting? Well, it's in alignment with my bigger purpose, right? It's in alignment with my bigger purpose. Like, what am I here to do? Well, I am very, 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 very clear that the world is going to change during my lifetime because of my mad ramblings and because of my unique perspective on things. And even if you take away the word unique, because of my authentic perspective on things and because of my willingness, desire, drive, and commitment to sharing that perspective as often and in as many ways as I can, as powerfully as I can, with people who I really believe are going to use it. Hence why I'm online right now doing this, right? So how do I find the energy and the inspiration? You get back in touch with your intent. And I don't just mean your intent for the individual piece of content, but that too, right? But I mean the intent for, like, why did you become a coach in the first place? There's a 1,000 different jobs you could do, 1,000,000 different jobs you could do. Why did you choose coaching? What was your story to yourself? What was your, well, I'm going to do this because of all the things I could have chosen, I'm choosing this because. Well, that's part of your intention, right? So draw yourself back to that. Like, why am I doing this? I'm here to remind, like, if I come back to my intent, I want to help people to kind of realize that they don't have to be more than they are. They've just got to be all that they are. And that's what drives me all the time. To tell people, look, you don't have to be a better person. You don't have to have better skills. You don't have to be a better coach. You don't have to, yeah, these are all kind of loose terms that we use, but you don't have to be better. You just have to use all of who you are. And that's when things start to really, really change for you. So I'm committed to that. That's my intent. And then my intent behind every single individual post and every single video is essentially a reinforcement of that message. Now, it might be theme specific, like here you're asking about blogging and somebody else was asking about kind of their money, and somebody else was asking about self-sabotage, and you name it. But my answer is always going to kind of come back to the same things, really, is that you don't have to be more than you are. You just got to be all that you are. And I'm going to meet you in the conversation that you started. So this becomes really, really important, like much more important than most people think, because it rams into a catchphrase that I teach to my people that come on the Guru Project out in Thailand with me, and they come and live with me. And one of the first things I teach them about content is to let your intent drive your content. Content by itself for content's sake, like, oh, I should produce some content, I should get some content on my site, I should get some content in my group, I should get some content on my wall. Content for content's sake is a bit like kind of is a lonely orphan of a concept, right? Content just for content's sake is just words. It's just more information into the world, into an already overpopulated, informative world anyway, right? People are drowning in information, but they're thirsting for knowledge. So what's the difference? So information is just the stuff. Okay, if we were talking about information, we're talking about and somebody who wants to lose some weight. Kind of the information is cut back on some calories, do a bit more exercise. Here's the information about the best workout routine. Here's the information about the best diet. But the knowledge is very different, because along with the knowledge comes my personal experience, my personal stories, my personal anecdotes, my reflections, my observations, and say, look, it can seem like just eat less and move more, but we all know how bloody hard that is, and we all know how challenging that is, and how so many other things in life get in the way. Some of the clients I work with, for example, they were qualified nutritionists and personal trainers in their own right, but weren't able to make the work. Can you see the difference? One of them is information, and one of them is knowledge, and the knowledge comes from your experience, and that's something that only you can bring. Only you, Luiza, kind of, because you're the one who asked the question, but only you, the coach who's watching this, have had exactly the same life experiences as you have had, right? So that sounds a bit inane, but you think about it. Only you have grown up where you grew up, in the family circumstance that you had, with a specific amount of love, care, and attention, the specific relationships in your family, the specific schooling and education, the specific experiences you had with, through your first job, your second job, your third job, the travel that you've had. Only you have had that aggregate experience. So you don't have to go out in the world trying to be unique and say, well, how do I make my message sound better? Oh, Dax has got so much background behind him in terms of the neuroscience and stuff, and shit, I'm not as far along as Dax is as a coach just yet, so it's not really worth me writing any articles. It's not worth me shooting any videos, because shit, Dax has kind of said it in all his. He's just produced 30 this month. Like, what's the point of me doing anything? You can see how this is exactly what goes on through the minds of most coaches, right? If I can't produce something that competes with and is in some way unique comparative to Dax's, then what the hell is the point of me doing it? And this is where we then need to rely on external energy to motivate us into doing it. It's like, I don't really feel it anymore. But when you come at it from the perspective, all I've got to do is be authentic, and authentic means blending my stories, my perspectives, my experiences, my observations into what I'm sharing with people. Boom, suddenly things change. And interestingly enough, when you stop trying to be unique and you focus on being authentic, you become unique, right? So unique isn't I don't believe that unique is something that is best approached for the idea of trying to be unique. I believe being unique is the end result of being authentic, right? Authentic comes from the ancient Greek word, or the Greek roots of author and authority and all that kind of stuff. And what it actually comes from is auto-hentes. It means self-created. Okay, self-created. When you're authentic, you're self-created. So in other words, we're creating ourselves all the time through all our experiences and stuff, right? Well, if I've been creating myself, why wouldn't I use that, my own creation, in the explanation of the material that I'm trying to share with you? That is how something becomes unique, because only I've had those experiences. You haven't. You've had some of them, but you've never had exactly my experiences. You're not Dax Moy, and I'm not Luiza Stefan or anybody else in this tribe. Forget about uniqueness. Start focusing on being authentic. Okay, and I don't mean that as just that kind of throwaway word. Authentic isn't starting to swear in all of your posts just because everybody else is swearing in their posts. It isn't kind of having the same conversation just because that seems to be popular. It's what are you compelled to talk about right now? What is your intent? And this is where we then move into another stage and we look at not only the intent, the overall intent, but what is my intent for this particular post, right? So I have a specific intent to serve Luiza because she's the one who asked this question. But through serving Luiza, I hope to serve the tribe. Through that, I hope to. My intent is to create some interest and to create some kind of dialogue around this. Around that is basically my intention to have coaches essentially feel like they have permission to show up in the world as their authentic selves. And as a result of that, they go out into the world and they attract more clients. As a result of that, they go out into the world and they're serving more people to get through their own struggles. And my mission becomes accomplished because I want it doesn't always have to be me that says the words to people. I'm not that jealous and that possessive of my messages. I want the world to experience this idea that they don't have to be more than they are, they've just got to be all that they are. And if I can move coaches to believe that about themselves, they're going to move their clients to believe that about themselves, and the ripples in the pond are going to be vast. Okay, so you can see motivation is not really quite the right word here. It's not about finding energy, it's about remaining in alignment with your intent. When people talk about living a life of purpose, living a life on purpose, what they're saying is, this was my intent. This is what I intended to do. So my question to you is, like, what do you intend to do? Like, what was your intention for becoming a coach? What is your intention for getting up and sharing your mad ramblings, as I call them, with the world? Like, what do you want to happen as a result of that? And focus on the intent and let the intent drive the content. So I hope you found that useful. I hope you found that interesting. I'd really love to get your feedback on this. Like, does that resonate with you? Does it ring true? Does it ring false? Does it sound like complete and utter bullshit? I'm not here to persuade anybody of anything. I'm sharing with you Dax Moy's view of life, the universe, and everything based upon my observations, my experience, my education. But you may have, as I've just said in this video, different observations, different experience, different education that makes you feel differently about this. Whatever your feedback is, whatever your commentary, I'd love to hear it. So drop something in underneath this video, and let's have a little bit of a chat about it. But tell me what you got out of this video, if anything. And don't forget, if you've got any questions for me as part of this 30 Dates with Dax, please ask me the question, and I will be more than happy to answer it. Till next time, take care.